Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to this year's first Parsec Live YouTube AMA. We did a short one on Telegram last week to summarize the year, but today we have Anastasia, who is the head of marketing at Parsec, and she's been
Hey
with us
guys.
for I think 3 years at least. And yeah, first she started part time back in 2018 and joined full time in 2020. So she's been heading up most of her marketing efforts. So any questions to her, please don't hesitate to ask in the chat. Yeah, maybe we'll start off with a small introduction. Anastasia, can you say a few words about yourself and how you got to work in Parsec?
Parsec. Yeah, so uh, I've spent a few years in crypto before joining Parsec. So I led a few projects who held ICOs back in 2016, I guess. But yeah, everything has changed drastically since then. And after those projects, I've been working on a freelance basis, and that's basically how I met Parsec team. And yeah, so it's been crazy times when Parsec we're just starting our journey, and it was really super complicated project for user understanding and customer perspective. And I think we made a giant leap already with positioning and branding and even marketing, so to say. And I think lots of things will come.
Yeah. Let's jump into the questions. We have, before we jump into the questions that are in the comments section, we have a few questions that have been forwarded by our community managers. And most of them are for Anna. So, first one for you. What marketing strategies are we implementing to better and more quickly onboard members and customers?
Yeah, well, quite a big answer to be made. Yeah, so if we are speaking about our B2B funnel and focus, we have a lot of different inbound tactics and workflows built, and a lot of things are still in progress. So yeah, we're trying to create enough documentations, how to's, and lots of other educational stuff for our users and potential customers within Parsec, so that we can really show the value of the project and really solve the most common problem in Parsec, that usually our followers and even users don't really know about the problem they have. Yeah, and not to mention that they cannot even be aware that Parsec can solve lots of problems, like with trading and like compliance and analytics and so on and so forth. So yeah, we're trying to create enough explanations around this. And the goal for this year regarding B2B vertical is to rotate our marketing activities within our already existing customers and their success stories. So I hope that all of you guys already noticed that we just launch our new version of website, which was created by our marketing team. And first of all, Diana Dong, who is our marketing advisor. And yeah, so we've got a new section for our customers' success stories, and this is, I guess, the most brilliant part of our new website. So yeah, everything regarding onboarding of new clients will go to showing the real value and the real case implementations of the platform. And if we, I guess, if we speak about onboarding and converting of our, let's say, community members to our clients, and that's maybe a more challenging task for us because the interests of our existing clients and our community members are different. Yeah, so there is there is a lot of things to do, and I think I can mention that we had discussed and have plans for example, an incentive program for our community that will incentivize community members to build at least theoretical use cases and smart triggers that can be built in future by themselves or not by themselves. And yeah, so maybe this will build some kind of ground for our future smart template marketplace as well. But yeah, so the task here will be to create, to first of all create the demand for the project, for the platform, then address to the problems our community members may have and that we may solve. So yeah, something like this.
A few questions from John, directed at Anna. Parsec marketing has so far targeted traditional finance and traditional investor types. This doesn't really capture the imagination of crypto investors. Are there any plans to add more creativity and less traditional platforms?
Yeah, it's interesting. What does he mean by not so traditional platforms? Like what? Like, but yeah, maybe we can start advertising on OnlyFans or something like that. Still, yeah, I think I need to mention that we spent a few months, maybe even the last half a year, on and being more focused on B2B side of marketing things in Parsec. And we had restructured all our positioning, sales funnels, content strategy, and so on and so forth. And that's why many community members noticed that we kind of lack of I would say social media presence and like regular coin shilling stuff. And yeah, but I think this is definitely what gonna be boosted soon because thanks to Ronkai, who joined us and started to build all the verticals from scratch, and we spent a few months, not months, but a few weeks within the whole company to outline our KPIs for this year. And for example, inside the marketing department, we set up three different groups of KPIs. So the first one goes to B2B side of things. Second one will be the community growth, and the third one will go for everything regarding the token. And I would say that all the resources and efforts will be spent there equally. And yeah, so that's why we're gonna push all our regular crypto presence, I would say, starting like soon. Well, I think I can say that literally yesterday I had a nice call with a new marketing agency contractor whose main focus, whose only focus is influencer marketing. And we had some kind of task package from them, and they produce it really well. And that's why we're gonna continue working with them on both Parsec and IQ protocol. And we already discussed that we need to have different types of influencer marketing campaigns for IQ and Parsec because IQ protocol needs more like community growth. I don't know how to call it. Maybe some growth of numbers and followers, so on and so forth, and general growth of awareness. But within Parsec marketing activities and KOLs mentions on Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, so on and so forth, we're gonna be focused on the token and explaining the real value behind the project and token itself.
A question from Rai. I think you mostly covered it, but maybe a little bit more expansion on this. Marketing
Mhm.
for retail investors. What is the current strategy to promote investment into Parsec and IQ? What channels do you believe have the biggest success within crypto?
Yeah, I think the channels are pretty obvious for community members, and that's all about good quality influencers and channels and media websites, and building a regular presence here. Um, I think I can also add about our kind of problem with influencer marketing last year, because we lacked, I would say, some resources, mainly staff in the marketing department, because looking and searching for good influencers and bloggers who can really dive into the project and explain its real value without pronouncing parsec wrong. It's a pretty time consuming work. And luckily, as our team growed really well last month, I guess we don't have much more resources and time for managing this. Yeah.
Let's see. Here's a longer question. In the last 6, 7 months, marketing in Parsec has changed, or should I say, disappeared from the usual social media platforms like YouTube and Twitter paid shills. Unfortunately, in crypto, price is closely linked to hype, and marketing of the project in the last 6 months, there has been very little, apart from the usual community members shilling in Twitter. Do you think the 7 month downtrend price of PRQ is a coincidence? Maybe a marketing failure? Note, I do realize the number of articles on websites has increased, and there has been Twitter activity like the 12 days of Christmas and similar, but this type of marketing does not seem to attract new buyers. Do you have any plans to change your marketing strategy? So let me maybe give my thoughts on this. I don't usually like to comment on topics regarding price, but yes, unfortunately, crypto is a lot about hype and marketing at some points, but it's much more than that. We have market trends, we have market sentiment, we have down markets, up markets. So it's the PRQ token had its run, like a pretty parabolic run, before some others. Why? Because crypto industry is big enough that now it's like a game of musical chairs, and there are different trends at different times. So if you remember last winter, Parsec token performed extremely well, like parabolically well, uh, and when a lot of other assets were stagnant or even lost value. And that also coincided with the trend of blockchain infrastructure and blockchain data, which happened. So we had oracles, we had data providers, everyone performing well. Now this year, after the summer, after the May crash, mostly it was new layer ones like Avalanche and Terra and Solana, and also GameFi, Metaverse, NFT projects trending, while infrastructure projects were stagnating. That includes most oracles, most data infrastructure providers. So there's a different trend, different time, and different types of conditions. So marketing or no marketing. Uh, I'm not saying we could we do more. Could we have done more marketing? Yes, we could, and we will. But that still doesn't mean that a lot of buyers will flock, because, like I said, market sentiment, market trends. Every segment has had its like parabolic run at different times, and but there's a rotation. So that means attention at some point will fall again to data infrastructure providers. And our job is to just continue building, continue onboarding, getting adoption. And this is how eventually the attention will come to Parsec. If you think about different, let's say not publications, but different types of attention that Parsec has gotten over the last year and a half, from bloggers, from YouTubers, from research institutions like Stansberry, Symmetry, most of them were actually organic. So we never reached out to them. We never paid them. This is something that they noticed and saw potential in. And I feel this type of organic marketing works best. And so our goal would be to do well on the product, the adoption side, the user side, create actual value, and that will capture organic attention from a lot of these, let's say, marketing platforms. With that being, we have tried doing some paid YouTube influencers a few times, and usually it doesn't work very well because unless you develop a relationship with that influencer and he really understands and actually believes in the project, the influencer doesn't really convey the value well. So he has to believe in it, he or she has to believe in it to be able to properly do the proper messaging for their audience. That's why we will do paid marketing for sure, like paid publications. We will also strive to get organic attention, which works best. So it will be a mix of those things and actual adoption, showing actual progress and traction, which will eventually get to a point where a lot of more people will be interested in terms of like retail interest, number of token holders, number of community members. Yeah, Anna, maybe you want to add something here.
Yeah, totally agree here. And I can only add that even though the most relative type of advertisement and promotion comes from or comes organically, we still do much work here. For example, in like for search engine optimization, writing different types of content, because you need to first came in the site of those, let's say, influencers or media websites, editorial stuff, something like that. So there is a lot of works in progress that are not really like visible, I would say, but still we have really like a lot of tasks here, and things are improving and improving, because it's a long-term play, always about like building this organic position and vision of your project and brand.
Yeah, exactly. And no, most important is to show adoption, to show traction, to show progress, and everything else. Yeah, we will help with the active marketing, whether it's organic or paid, to amplify it. But it has to come from there. And this is what historically has worked best. And the trend will come when once again middleware infrastructure will be heavily in the picture, and will be Parsec's time to shine. A question from Dominic: any more plans for attending crypto conferences?
Totally, yeah. I would say more of that. This year we planned to conduct at least one our own kind of event. Maybe it will be like a simple online hackathon or something like that, that is focused on developers. But I guess the most loved loved conference from our project is ETH, and we just got a confirmation that our team is gonna attend this conference again. So we will see what's other conference we're gonna attend, because it's like super time consuming as well, and we will be more developer focused here, and so like conducting workshops and explaining parsec and so on and so forth. Because our recent hackathon, what was called Gitcoin, brought a really great results for us, and a lot of the ground for building future marketing campaigns. We just took one simple, not simple, but one application submitted to within this hackathon, that's about monitoring of CryptoPunks, and we're still in process of building a single marketing campaign around here, and I'm totally sure that this is gonna be a good thing for us. So yeah, if anybody planned to attend ETH Denver, we will totally be here.
Yeah, we'll be doing ETH Denver. We'll try to get in on all the big developer conferences like DEF CON, ETH Barcelona, ETH Amsterdam, and so on and so forth. So we won't do only exclusively developer-oriented conferences. We will do others as well. We have quite a few mapped out for 2022. But the main focus is indeed developers. Question from Miss Velocity. If I recall, the team has funds set aside in the future for node operators if they wanted to go the decentralized route. I wonder if they have had any more thought on the matter. Now, we've talked about like decentralizing Parsec completely and having nodes that people can run and node operators can earn rewards. Those nodes would execute smart triggers in a decentralized, trustless manner, and so on and so forth. But right now, this just doesn't make sense to sacrifice speed and scalability for decentralization, because most of our clients don't require decentralization. And if anyone is concerned that the data is not trustworthy because it comes from a centralized source, so Anatolia actually has a solution for it using ZK rollups or ZK snarks or whatever that is for to make the data provable. So I don't see a necessity to do it at this point, really. And especially if we'll be targeting the traditional institutions coming in from Web 2 and integrating with the blockchains, they certainly feel more comfortable with a centralized software service provider. With that being said, I mean, theoretically, both versions can coexist in the future. So we are not ruling this out. It's still an idea, but yeah, I mean, when you think about most other blockchain data services that are on the market, I won't name any names, but I've checked out most of them. And although a lot of them have the tag like decentralized and network for blockchain data, they are almost all of them are centralized. Actually, the data comes from centralized cloud servers, so it's more a marketing thing, calling things decentralized and appealing to maximalists of decentralization. And final question before we get into the comment section from Garcia Capital. What is planned for 2022 that will highlight Parsec as a go-to middleware? Well, a lot of things are planned, including marketing and everything we discussed today and we'll discuss. But for me, most importantly, it's the adoption. 2022 will be the adoption year for Parsec, I hope. And this is what we're aiming for. And I do think in general, the blockchain adoption curve will look really, really well in 2022. And our product has had gaps, certain gaps that hasn't allowed us to onboard some of these bigger players we've been talking to. So it's not that they don't like the product, they love it, but they need some additional functionality to really cover their needs. And we are actively working on this and finishing up some things, and hopefully we can finally onboard some of these big projects, big projects in gaming, big projects in DeFi, and centralized financial service providers and others. So let's jump into the comment section. Will there be any collaborative marketing campaigns with OpenSea, Superfarm, or gaming projects? Yes, because as you know, IQ Protocol has a lot of games in the pipeline, big and small, to integrate with the protocol. And as it turns out, some of them really need monitoring. And so definitely Parsec will be working with these gaming projects, and we will do some co-marketing. Anna, how do you measure success of marketing campaigns?
I guess it depends on the initial goals we set before this marketing campaign. So if it's about lead gen marketing campaigns or just regular awareness campaigns, the final outcome differs. So if we talk about our B2B focused activities, almost about the number of new marketing qualified leads that our business development team takes and proceeds with. And if we are talking about awareness campaigns and community growth, there are also some kind of metrics we can track, and we track actually. So it's mostly about the general community growth regarding numbers of followers, numbers of website visits, so on and so forth. But we, of course, we have kind of internal metric that's like scores our, I would say, engagement of our community, and this is actually the most important metric that we strive to raise and to track within the awareness marketing campaigns, and that's why we try to regularly build kind of engagement campaigns like we had the Riddle campaign and 12 Days of Parsec campaign, and I personally really love them, and I love to see when our community gets so active and communicative and I don't know, just warm and nice.
What happened to PRQ? It's got little pulse, barely alive, basically abandoned for IQ and IQT. Well, this is absolutely wrong. In fact, Parsec has a much bigger team than IQ, and most of the efforts are there. There are different projects. Parsec is an established project with an established community and with a name and with a product and with users. And so the goals are different. For IQ, it's more about like getting awareness, building out the community from scratch. For Parsec, it's about expanding community. It's about getting adoption, more and more adoption and traction. So if you mean the price, then I think we've covered it, plenty. If you look at the market, I mean, the majority isn't you could say that for most of the market, with some outliers which have been trending, because like I said, it's the market is so big that it has now trends that and money rotates between these trends in different times, different years. What will be the initial circulating supply, and when will we get more info about the IQT drop? You'll get more info closer to the token launch, which is planned for to launch in the first 6 months of this year, maybe end of Q1. But this is we're not in a rush, so we'll launch when everything is ready. So you'll get all the information closer to that. Parsec should still be at an awareness phase for marketing, but the current strategies seem to always aim at people who already know about Parsec. What's your direction on this?
I think there's no term as awareness phase of marketing, because we always do some kind of awareness campaigns to gather new eyes and new people to our community, and and people who already know about Parsec. So yeah, I would say there's basically two different types of marketing that can be that are sorry conducted at the same time, and there is basically a marketing funnel that we have, and we have awareness campaigns and awareness marketing activities to chase new people and new audiences. Then we have some sort of inbound marketing activities, let's say to retarget people within our marketing campaigns and to educate them without inbound processes and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure that it's like this question addresses us right.
Yeah, and I would also add that I Parsec has actually decent awareness, at least maybe not in terms of like retail community, but when I speak to investors, founders, builders, other projects every day, and a surprising amount actually knows and follows Parsec, and a lot of them actually hold PRQ, and so in that sense, it's pretty known. If you mean retail awareness, actually our follower count on Twitter has gone up quite a bit in the last 6 months or so. So we're always working on this. But like I said, it's a mix of things about market trends and our marketing activities. So if we continue actually, delivering results, amplified by marketing, and at the same point, market trends shift and attention comes again to infrastructure projects like Parsec. I think we're going to be pretty well off in terms of awareness, and it's also mostly a B2B product. So in that sense, it's always more difficult to get retail awareness compared to, for example, DeFi or NFTs or metaverse. So but you know Parsec is set to last, to be here as the industry standard for years, and a lot of projects will actually die. So there are hundreds of projects launched every day. Uh, Over 90%, maybe 99% of them will die. A lot of them have already been abandoned, and just through being here and building and showing progress and getting more big, let's say, institutions, projects, developers use and get value out of the product will also help with this. At some point, simply attention, even retail attention, will turn. Hello, Tom and Anastasia. These are the questions from the Spanish community. Can we expect to see Parsec and IQ Perkle in big YouTube channels? Have you reached
Yes.
Crypto Banter or Sheldon Evans? Both have 500k plus subs and believe in projects with strong fundamentals. Just wait and see. What do you think is the thing about Parsec that creates more interest from retail investors? Now, look, when you think about layer one blockchains, they have a different type of value proposition. Middleware infrastructure works in the background. It's the glue, so it's not as obviously attractive to retail investors. But with that being said, again, I come back to the adoption and value that the product can provide, which will eventually get the retail interest. And we will be heavily focusing on developers, especially developers who could build applications that could be retail facing. And so if these applications would all be powered by Parsec, this is also a way to, this is a big focus in 2022. PRQ liquidity is very bad for a long time. Why is the team not seeing this as top priority? Uh, well, we do have a healthy number of centralized exchanges that provide quite decent liquidity right now. If I'm in Uniswap, it's not terrible. It's down from where it was, of course, during the market peak back in April. But you know, mostly due to the fees, people we have been able to provide the ability to trade on PancakeSwap without fees with decent liquidity on centralized exchanges, and there will be more listings both on centralized and decentralized exchanges to increase that liquidity. Do you have any major plans to continue to develop if the crypto market going to downtrend for a few years? That's actually the best time to develop, because then we can actually focus on the really important stuff, which is building and getting clients, getting users, getting traction, instead of trying to appease the community when everyone is saying like, hey, Solana is going up, why is not PRQ token going up? So that's a perfect time when all the assets are in a bear trend. This is a time to build, and the results will be seen during the next uptrend. This is pretty much what happened when we built through like all of 19 the depths of the bear market, and in 2020 the result was there. Hi Anna, good to see you joining AMAs. Hopefully community can benefit with your frequent engagement. Can you comment on any market surveys or market research done recently on Parsec and its results?
Yeah, actually, nice question. I mentioned already that last half a year we've spent on restructuring our focuses on Parsec together with Diana Dong, and she actually conducted a lot of surveys of our existing users on the platform, and based on this those surveys, we actually decided to rotate our focus to be more B2B oriented, because maybe it's due to our kind of complicated structure of building those smart triggers. Maybe that's about like enough educational content, which is which is gonna arrive sometime in the future, but still the best option for us was to be really focused on more.
Hey guys. Sorry, I think we had connection issues. I hope you all can hear me now. You should. Anyway, I think we lost Anna. But while she's rejoining, we can continue. Yep, she's back.
Yeah, what is my problem?
Yeah, it happened. Do you think Parsec will be vital for Web3 industry? Yeah, I personally can't wrap my head around why the term Web3 has become, sort of a new thing or a new trend because, Parsec has been positioned from day one as the bridge between Web2 and Web3. So to me, yeah, we are definitely, the idea is to be the essential middleware for anyone either building on Web3 or wanting to integrate with Web3. The only influencer that would deliver or explain the potential of both Parsec and IQ is Coin Bureau on YouTube. That should be the one and only target. I know a lot of our community members are fans of Coin Bureau, and I think even someone from our team tried reaching out to Coin Bureau, but with no response so far. When will the allocation of PRQ from the 1 million rewards be shared? So they'll be shared with a small vesting schedule. I think it was 4 months. So 25% of the 1 million pool will be claimable February 1st, and then March 1st, April 1st, and so on. Is the private round closed for IQT? Who are the private investors? Yes, the round is closed. Heavy interest, very heavy interest in the round. Massively oversubscribed. I mean, there does seem to be like an abundance of capital on the market, and it seems like a lot of people are now VCs. But yeah, I mean, the word has certainly gone out in the investor circles, and you will see the announcement of the fundraising round with some of the biggest names or some of our bigger names quite soon. How much is being spent on marketing currently in USD? Well, off the top of my head, I don't even have that number right now because it varies from month to month. We have campaigns. Sometimes we don't have campaigns. Sometimes we have certain milestones that we really want to get out. We want to get that information out, so we spend more. Other times there is no point in spending more. So it can vary widely from like 5 figures and up to 6 figures and up per month. So what do you think about Chainalysis? Do you see them as big competitors in regards to traditional firm clients? Well, not really. I mean, the value of Chainalysis is that they store huge databases of like labeled addresses, like bad actors, addresses involved in whatever malware, gambling, P2P exchanges. So we're not competing with that. We're providing the infrastructure. So I guess in a way, someone building a new Chainalysis would be able to use Parsec as infrastructure. Thinking about benchmarking and best practices. What marketing strategy from other crypto projects has inspired you? in particular, and how?
uh, sometimes I barely have time to follow any other project except Parsec and IQ. So I'm mostly inspired by the things our community talks about, and then what brought by our community department after that. Um, so I'm really not sure that I can name something, and I'm I was mostly educated within traditional marketing strategies and so on and so forth. And when I first came into crypto markets, I was so upset by the fact that nothing is really working here. You cannot simply create let's say, for example, Google ad campaign because of those bans on mentioning crypto, and you can like even mention Bitcoin on some on the most the biggest advertising networks like Facebook and so on and so forth, and everything is so much different from traditional marketing. But I guess it's the biggest advantage here because you're always learning, and you always try to be more creative than any other project in crypto, basically.
How do you shield the team to focus on development with so much market fluctuations? Uh, any new team changes, promotions or exits? Yeah, we have a number of internal promotions. Not many exits. I think we've had like one exit over maybe two over the course of 3 years. Really, the team is, the team understands the space we are in. I mean, it's crypto, so really, the team just believes in the project. They love building, and it doesn't really affect their performance. So, Anastasia, how's your focus and motivation after Bitcoin went down from 69K to 243? Are you demotivated now?
Not really. Still hoping I will have some time to buy more.
Yeah, that's the right approach. We all know the cyclical nature of this industry, and it's good. These downtrends, they wash out the projects who actually do not deliver value. They probably wash out some participants who were just here for a quick flip, and the builders remain, the believers remain, those who actually want to change the industry. So do the project does the project have enough people to ensure keep developing when PRQ and IQT are separate teams? Yeah, so I mean, we are almost 50 people now in-house, plus sometimes some outsourced help. It's a lot, and so a lot of the teams are completely separated. For example, the engineering teams for IQ and Parsi completely separate. There are still some joint resources that are being shared in terms of like marketing and community, but those two will be separated. So IQ and Parsec will both have dedicated teams dedicated only to those projects. These are two projects, and actually, all claims that Parsec has been abandoned in favor of IQ protocol are completely false and absurd, because we have many more people working for the Parsec side than IQ. We have many more people actually doing marketing for Parsec than IQ. These are different projects at different stages. They're not comparable. And saying like, launching the IQ token will somehow take away value from PRQ is nonsense. They're not competing with each other. If anything, building an ecosystem and complementing each other. It's like saying, I don't know, launching Encore takes something away from Luna, or launching, I don't know, Keeper takes something away from Yearn Finance. No, it doesn't work this way. They're completely different. If anything, they actually compound the positive effect, not vice versa. If an auto company intends to partner with IQ, could they also see a car rental for IQ? Yes, but it's would work much better if our actual, whenever governments actually put our assets on the blockchain, like real estate, like cars as unique NFTs, and in that case, IQ would be perfect to facilitate decentralized, permissionless renting of such assets. How could happen a subscription model? How Spotify, Netflix, and similar? Yeah, well, obviously, I don't think us approaching Netflix and is a good step yet. We'll start with crypto natives. We already have a couple of non-crypto native companies who want to use IQ for subscription models. They have nothing to do with blockchain, but they're tech startups. One, for example, is a file storage company, and you understand the logic. They could issue a token. A token will allow them to more easily raise funds, global liquidity, and renting 100 tokens equals 100 megabytes of storage space, or whatever, something similar. So a lot of use cases like this, access rights for non-crypto native applications. So we'll definitely venturing in that route, but starting with the crypto natives, then getting to non-crypto native startups, and then going to some bigger players. Tom, can you advise what your personal goal would be on the total market cap of PRQ within the next 3 years? It's impossible to tell. I mean, the market is it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable. I mean, some of the projects in the space, they're like overvalued. Some are maybe undervalued. It's really for the people, for the community, and the participants, the network participants, to decide what the value should be. And it's not important what the value is within this moment, but it's important what it will be over time. I cannot predict this. I mean, Parsec went what from I don't know, what was it, less than a million, less than a million market cap to over 300 million market cap in well, 6 months. So everything is possible in crypto. Who knows? Wait and see. Any news about the supply squeeze of PRQ? Uh, yeah, well, who knows? Again, depends on a lot on some of our initiatives, on the overall market. It can happen. It can happen. Samsung is launching TVs with NFT market built in. It will be cool to see renting NFT there powered by IQ. Actually, I do have a contact with Samsung with the blockchain. I haven't pitched them this idea, but we'll definitely do it. So Anna, do you have any closing thoughts on a lot of questions today about retail hype, about marketing that would increase the price, the number of token holders, and market cap, FOMO effect, and so on and so forth, which is understandable. But in my opinion, just doesn't quite work this way. So we do have to put in a lot of effort into marketing, both organic and paid, while at the same time, showing value with the product and for the users, and it will catch attention. But with retail, everything, it's a passing trend. A lot of things are trending at one point and not trending again, and then trending again in a year. So I'm pretty sure Parsec is here to stay, and with amplified efforts from the team, both product, BD, marketing, community teams, and with the help of you guys, the community, I think we will be able to achieve this huge network effect at some point in the future.
Yeah, that's right.
I think we've run to the end of this AMA. Thank you everyone for your questions, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye everyone.